Yeah.
We're
all we get is
bad.
gophers. He came in earlier and saw a gopher and he freaked out.
Today?
Yeah.
I did see a gopher snake today.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I wanted to go urban for him.
It was scary. All right, clap sync. Fire.
We should like dap.
Dap
sync.
The five
That's
dap
kinda
sync,
fire.
Yo.
dap.
Welcome back to
idea.
Tent Talks episode 3
Probably.
or something. We have a
4.
guest.
Your
Lamor.
boy Lamor,
Unfortunately.
It's your boy Lamor.
friend of Lucas's sister.
It's Lucas's
Yes.
boyfriend.
It's Lucas's
Yeah,
boyfriend.
Lucas's boyfriend and Lucas's sister's boyfriend.
He's double dipping.
He's
He is Dreberg squared right now.
I get Lamar on the weekends.
Yeah,
it's like
Lucas gets me on
custody.
the weekends. His sister gets me on Wednesdays and Tuesdays.
When do I get you?
Thursdays and
Mondays.
Fridays.
Mondays? Damn. Makes my Mondays better,
I
I
hate
guess.
Mondays.
Dude.
Anyways.
So we're talking about pedophilia, right?
Hell
Yeah, dude.
No.
That is
A lot has happened in the past 3 months,
Yeah.
2 months. 2 months?
I-
It's got to only be a month. I don't think it's been longer
It
than
feels
3.
like forever. Like the grass grew in the whole
It
time that we
feels like
weren't here.
forever.
Comment
Like
down
it's
below
been between.
when the last episode was.
the last episode
it's
is
been
not
between
aired
the-
anywhere. For all they know, this is episode 1.
Dude.
This is the first public episode.
Ground zero.
This is
This
ground
is where the
zero.
first man got AIDS.
We now have rules.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Who should start? Should I start?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
That'd be fire.
Or
I
actually,
love
wait.
his
Let's
voice.
get a backstory on Lamor.
A backstory.
Oh yeah, Lamor
Just
should
a
start.
little
Let's let the
background.
guests
Little
talk
background, yeah.
first.
Okay,
True.
well, I knew Lucas since kindergarten. And then
That's when their love story started.
that's when our love story started. We went to school together from kindergarten to 6th grade. And then I reconnected with everybody around like 8th grade. I was homeschooling. I spent a lot of time on the internet. And so I was talking to everyone on Discord. And then it's really I just started coming around, and then I started talking to his sister, and I started dating his sister. And now
Sick.
I'm here. So now I'm around at the house where they record the podcast.
Sick.
So now I'm joining in.
That's how it
Now,
happened.
now I'm
You're
friends with his
kneeling?
friends.
Yeah.
We figured Lamor is a good friend of ours. Why not him come on the podcast and talk about all the stories he has? You know, when we first
I'm an RN, a real nigga.
That's so true.
Oh,
You know,
dude.
When we first started this podcast, we really you were the first guest I wanted on here. 'Cause
No, yeah. Like day
I
one,
think
he was
it was
like,
actually
I
even
want
before
Lamor
I
on
met
this.
met you.
Really?
When we had the idea for the podcast, I was like, we should get Lamor on here because I feel like he has
first couple interactions.
because I feel like you had really good stories. I still
Because
think
he's
you
an
have really
RN.
I might.
good,
A
he's an
registered
RN.
nurse.
Real niggas have some good stories sometimes.
Real. I feel like I don't know. I feel like you would have good stories to tell out of any of us.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Perhaps.
some of them are kind of sad,
Dark.
but
yeah.
I have some.
I mean, hey, sad stories are still stories, you know.
Mm.
Well, what you're asking me to tell a story?
The whole, I mean, it's not like an emotional podcast or anything, but I feel like stories like that were the reason I wanted to bring people on here because I like meeting a lot of people, and I wanted to meet a lot of Lucas's friends. So I feel like this would be a
Because we
good
know
way.
nothing about Lucas as of now.
Yeah.
I don't even know much about this.
Yeah,
sport. I really don't.
right?
Like I do not know much.
Guys,
about
I'm
him.
so
Dude.
mysterious.
Lucas is
He's
very
so mysterious and nonchalant,
love
dude.
it.
nonchalant, and mysterious.
He does the like mysterious persona correctly.
Oh
It's
yeah.
true.
I do.
It is
Yeah,
very
I think
true.
so.
Yeah,
Usually it's
chronically
like-
online, never leaves his room, dude. He got it. He got it down.
Mysterious or just depressed?
I mean, you're our guest. I feel like you can start on or give us our first talking. I mean, I have talking points for us because we need to catch up. We haven't
Yeah.
seen each other in a while.
I know. You could give us like a preview of your last 6 months or something.
My last 6 months. Yeah, we can talk about that. Well, I don't have a high school education, which is frustrating. Like I'm just trying to get myself to do shit. That's really it. I'm trying to get myself to enroll into school. I at least want to get my GED so I can get into college. But it's just hard to do anything lately. It's just really fucking hard. So I'm just trying to find the motivation to do shit. And like I talk to people about it, and it's usually the same stuff. Just like find the passion for it, just do it. Which is like I understand, but I don't know. I think we should try to talk about how can you overcome that problem when it's like a serious problem. Like what makes people just like what makes people so motivated to do shit, but they just don't do it anyway. You
Well,
know what I mean?
Lucas does not have an answer to that one.
that's the thing, me and
Dude,
Lucas
that's
have a conversation.
Ain't that right?
diabolical.
Ain't that right? Medical ADHD.
Diabolical.
I was telling him you got ADHD. He was like,
Because it's
nah.
hard, dude. Because
I think you do.
after I left RAA, I did homeschooling for like 2 years, and then my enrollment kind of like it got kicked back, and my mom, she was drinking heavily at the time, so I didn't really have anybody to like put me back in school. I was like enjoying my time not being in school, so I was just like kind of chilling around. I was like, yeah, I don't have to be in school. I get to play games on my iPad all day. And I got re-enrolled just a couple of years ago. I think it was like in like late 2020. No, not 2020. Like late 2022, I believe. I got re-enrolled, and then I still wasn't really doing anything. Like I wasn't turning in my work. And then once I turned 18, I just dropped out because I was like, I'd rather get my GED and then go to college instead of taking all this time to get my diploma, because I dropped out. I didn't even finish ninth grade. I started back in ninth, and then I just stopped. And so I just want to get my GED, and I want to go to college because I want to be a nurse. I want my double RN. I have one already. I'm a real nigga. And now
So that's your birthright. You need
The yin and the
paper.
yang.
now a real nigga
He got the
needs to be a
black side,
registered
now he needs
nurse.
the white side.
That's
But
crazy.
Yeah, honestly, the last 6 months of my life has just been like trying to find the fire to do shit, but like struggling with it. Like I'm jobless right now. I'm like I'll be going out with Kaylee, and she'll get me food, and like I want to kill myself because I'm not.
Dude.
I'm
You're not
the
paying
one
for
buying
it?
shit.
Yeah.
It fucking
I feel
sucks.
that.
It
I
sucks
feel
really
that.
bad. And it's just like I can't even like update my resume because I need to update my resume so then I can start looking for jobs. Haven't done that.
So what happened to your
So
theater job?
I started working there. It was a good job. I was serving food to people because you kind of you get to sit in the movie theater and watch a movie, and the workers just bring the food to you. So I was doing that. I was cleaning up movie theaters, which kind of sucked, but I was doing customer service, which I enjoy. That was fun. But it was a seasonal job, so I was working there for a while, and then they kind of just stopped giving people hours.
Oh, really?
My manager just fucking hated me. Like I don't know what his problem was. He hated my guts like so bad. And I stopped getting hours. I was working like maybe 1 day a week. I was picking up some shifts, and then I just started getting no hours at all. And then I tried to open up the scheduling app, which is where you can see your schedules and pick up shifts. And then I was just logged out.
Damn.
Yeah, I was just logged out. So they let me go without telling me.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's got to be illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it is. I mean, I looked it up. And I guess it says like in the state of California, you can do that.
Oh, you can just like ghost someone?
Yeah, you can just like you can basically just like ghost your employees. And
That's actually wild.
Yeah, I know. Right? I don't know if that's accurate, but that's
In liberal California is crazy.
yeah, I know. It's
Right?
fucked up. It's fucked up. I think that happened to a couple other people too. That happened to Camden as well.
That's Trump's America.
Yeah, that happened to Camden.
That's Newsom's America.
Yeah, I
Newsom's America.
That's news.
But yeah, last 6 months is just it's just a struggle. Like I haven't been doing too bad, but I'm just like dissatisfied with what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And that's really it. That's kind of like my current story right now is just seeing what happens, just seeing when it's going to happen. Because like it sounds like bullshit, but I'm kind of just like waiting for the time where like something just changes, or like I actually get myself to do something. So that's really it right now. But I know it'll happen. I know it will happen. It's it's been like this for like the entirety of my life, but like in other aspects, like I'll want something that I need, and it just ended up falling into place. And so I think it's just another part of the cycle, because I'm like 99% of the person that I want to be right now, except for being disciplined enough to like actually do the shit I need to do. Yeah.
I told him
Yeah.
it'll never happen, and he didn't believe me.
Yeah, Lucas told me.
What an asshole.
He essentially told me that I need medication. That's what he told me. And which I
Stimulation.
which I understand, because I mean that is the case for some people, but I don't know. I think in my opinion, I think like if you want something badly enough, it'll end up happening, no matter how long it takes. Like, it's kind of impossible for me to imagine myself just like never doing the shit that I want to do.
Well, on what you were saying, I just find something that freaks me the freak out, and then I actually do stuff. I have to be terrified, and then I'll actually do something.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I hold the belief that like it's damn near impossible for me to do shit, but like the more like increasingly frustrated I get with the fact that I'm not doing shit means that like it's inevitable for it to happen. At least that's what I think. Because I'm not really like I'm not necessarily doing anything that's bad for me other than procrastinating. And before it was different, you know, like I've done like more drugs than most people have even seen. Like even on TV and shit. And you know, like when you're frustrated with something or you're not happy with what's going on in your life, typically it's just, you know, I'll just get high. And then you know, the next day comes and you get frustrated, it's just okay, I'll get high. And then it just that cycle keeps perpetuating. But I broke that. So I think that's kind of the first step in order to actually make something happen in my life. So like now that I don't really have an escape route, I kind of I have to take the path of like actually doing the shit that I'm passionate about, or like the shit that I imagine myself doing.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's kind of a matter of time. But I just get like insanely obsessive about like how I want things to go, which also like the weight of my imagination is it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense because like you want to do shit so badly, but you know, your imagination can like also stop you from doing it. But like if there's anyone listening that's dealing with that, just keep trying. That's really it. Like as long as the way I used to say this to Camden, me and Camden would say this to each other, like as long as we don't kill ourselves, we'll be fine and we'll do the shit that we want to do. It's kind of as simple as that. Like if you decide to, and not like literally killing yourself, I mean that as well, like as long as you don't like legitimately commit suicide and like you have the passion to do shit with your life, you'll get it done. But
True.
Also like killing yourself in ways where, you know, you're doing shit to avoid what you actually want to do in order to, you know, just make it easier to deal with. Just do whatever you can to like actually face the problem, like whether you're doing drugs or not, or like whether you're playing video games. It doesn't really matter what it is. Like if you're indulging in escapism, just keep in mind that like your life's just it's worth more than that. So yeah, that's what's been going on the past 6 months.
How does it feel to get high on Datura?
On Datura, I've never done Datura.
What
That's
the fuck is Datura? That sounds like a shampoo.
You said you tried. You said you've done everything, even things people don't know.
I said I've done more things than people, like a lot of people have even seen.
You ever done sativa?
No, it was
Like Datura.
sativa.
Or sorry, salvia.
Salvia, no, I've never done salvia.
Do you know it's legalized?
That happened a while.
Or it's
I don't even know what that
decriminalized?
is.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
You can straight up, like, if you're in possession of sativa, like, they don't care. I recently found that out. It was in that video
Wow.
you sent me.
Oh really?
I was like,
Did I send you a video?
Yo,
Sativa.
chat. Quick cue.
Ready
What
to
is
watch it?
sativa?
you know the one that like everyone's like, fuck. You know the one where everyone's like, you see shit, it's fucking crazy. It's the most hallucinogen plant ever.
Oh yeah.
It's essentially plant DMT.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah?
I feel
And
like.
it's just perfectly fine.
I mean,
Just don't drink in sativa. I mean, don't drive in sativa.
I mean,
Sativa and drive.
it
Salvia and
I
drive.
think you.
Don't salvia and
isn't it
drive.
oh,
more
sorry,
like,
salvia. Do I keep saying sativa? Sorry, I'm a pothead.
What is sativa? Oh, that's my bad. Oh yeah, there's
That's the other pot
side
strand.
that makes you anxiety.
I can say that on here. People know that. It's like, I mean, it just gives you extremely vivid hallucinations for like 15 minutes.
That's
isn't it
not
like
fun
a,
at all.
Isn't it a really bad trip too?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not necessarily bad.
people like the chances of you having a bad trip on salvia is higher than having a good trip.
So like, if you go into it with the right mindset, you're fine.
So you do a different drug that makes you happy
Yeah, I was
first.
like, you double up, and then you'll be perfectly
get
fine.
crossed.
Yeah.
What y'all motherfuckers know about getting crossed on salvia?
Get some meth and then do the salvia.
Hell no.
Actually, I had a really crazy trip on shrooms. Like
I really thought you were gonna say meth.
I've never done meth either.
Yeah,
That's good.
there's a
But
time for
I had
everything.
I had a trip on shrooms that basically it didn't necessarily change my life, but it made it a lot easier to like actually stop smoking weed, because that was my biggest problem with smoking weed. That was the one that like really had a hold on me out of everything that I was doing.
Understandable.
And there was this like this like kind of undercover, low key like smoke shop that I would go to with my friends. You walk in and it's just like a regular smoke shop. They just have nicotine products and they have, pipes, lighters, whatever. And
That's crazy.
but then there's a door. There's a door on the left side hand of the wall, and you walk through it, and then it's a dispensary. It just it was called Billy's. I think it was called
Delete that as
Billy's.
well.
Let me write that down real quick.
Actually, fuck it, I don't care. We'll
Yeah,
put
because
Billy's
I was
in.
at a point in my life where, like I was talking about, just like no matter what you're doing to like escape what you're going through, like just like be willing to face it no matter what you're doing. That's kind of what I was going through. Like I was doing a lot of drugs, mostly just smoking a bunch of weed, but I still knew I was like, fuck, like I gotta stop doing this shit if I want to do something with my life, because
Yeah.
it just made me
That's real.
a lot lazier. And so I was going through that. I was smoking a cart every single day. I was going through a cart every
Oh,
single day.
fucking hell.
And
Whoa.
one
Crazy
day,
work.
I was going through a cart, and
Like,
that messed some people like
half grams or grams?
a gram.
Holy
One
shit.
gram carts. I was going through one every single day. So I was
Oh
getting
my
a cart
God.
every other day from the shop. And then I ran out of money.
Yeah,
And
that'll do it.
ran out of money, and I was like, shit, I don't have enough money for a cart, but I have enough money for some shrooms. And they sold shrooms there.
Yeah.
So I got some shrooms. I went home and then I ate them, and then I was in hell. I was literally
Oh,
I was
really?
in hell. Yeah, I was sitting in my living room, and it started because what started was I kept going on my phone and watching TV, but I didn't want to watch TV at the same time. I was like, fuck, like why am I doing this? I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to use my phone. And then I just started tripping about that, and I put all of the technology away. And then I was like, and then out of nowhere, I just realized that I was in hell. And at the time, I was completely convinced that like I had gotten laced and I died and I was in hell.
So you feel like, not like metaphorical hell where
you
like it
thought
was a
you
bad trip.
actually
You were
were
like,
in
you
hell.
thought you were physically in
Yeah,
hell.
yeah. No, so I thought that,
Wow.
and this wasn't like a visual hell. It's like I was still
Yeah,
here. I was still here, but like what hell was just like being trapped on Earth, knowing that you're in hell. That's what it was. It was like I was trapped here, but I knew I was in hell, and it was inescapable. And I had already believed in God at the time, so I just started begging to him for a second chance. I was just like, this wouldn't have happened, because like I said, I was convinced I died. So I was like, this wouldn't have happened if I, like wasn't being a retard. And I knew I was being retarded the entire time. And I was basically saying like, I'm just going through a hard time. I'm not trying to justify all the shit that I was doing, but I don't think this is what I deserve. I don't think I deserve to be in hell based off of what I was doing, because that's how I felt. I was just like, I made a mistake. Let me have a second chance, because throughout my entire time, doing all the shit I shouldn't have been, like I had good intentions. Like I knew that I wanted to stop. I knew that I wanted to do something with my life, but it was hard for me to stop. So I was begging for a second chance. I went to my backyard screaming as loud as I could, Jesus Christ, I need you. Yeah, in my backyard. It was like 2 a.m. I was just screaming. I was screaming, Jesus Christ, I need you.
Is this why you were still high?
Yeah, I was still tripping. And
Shit.
I did that because I thought I felt like I had to prove that like I really wanted a second chance. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go just like beg my heart out.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying everything in my head. I was like, maybe it's worth something if I just go scream my lungs out to God and asking for forgiveness for to give me a second chance so I don't stay in hell. I was thinking about all my family and shit, and I was just like, fuck, dude. And there's a point in the trip where like when I realized I was in hell, I went to go look for a Bible. I could not find a fucking Bible. And my grandma she's SDA, and she has Bibles all over the house. And I was obviously tripping, but it was just like, fuck, like I couldn't find a Bible anywhere. It was so weird.
Like while you were in the trip?
Yeah, I couldn't find a Bible anywhere. And I was just like, fuck, like I just need to go pray and beg to God. So then I did that, and I came back into the house, and my grandma was like, she woke up and she was like, what's going on? Like, why are you screaming? And then she was like, she had no idea what was going on. She just like, she probably just thought I entered psychosis and I was just like losing my mind and I had to go to the psych ward. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
bad for her. At one point in the trip, I had my vape and I had a disposable. So I had a cart and I had a vape, and I was just like, you know what, like if I can't make it an effort to just like sit here and just like not do any drugs, then like what are my intentions worth if I can't just like leave alone the shit that's not good for me, at least for a while, a couple hours, however long this trip will last. I need to be able to leave it alone. And this is where like I started realizing like, okay, like I'm not really in hell after I started talking to my grandma for a second. And I was leaving it alone, and then it was kind of like time stopped, and my grandma was just sitting there. She fell asleep. We're in the living room. I'm sitting on the recliner. She's sitting on the other one across from me, and she just fell asleep. And it was like time had just stopped. I wasn't in hell. It was just like, I don't know. I was like frozen in time for a second, and then I just kept sitting there. I was like, you know, I'm not going to touch this shit. I have my vape and the wax pen on the floor, and I'm just like looking at it. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. 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 Like if I can't do this, then like I'm a faggot. You know what I mean? If I can't do this, then I'm gay.
Fucking loser.
And I was doing that, and then I look at my grandma, and she looks like an angel. Like I look at my grandma, and then she looks like an angel. And then I'm like, and she doesn't like actually look like an angel, but it's just like I'm looking at her, and there's just like something angelic going on, right? Like there was like an angel possessing my grandma or some type of shit. It was just like I don't know, but it felt really angelic, and it looked angelic. It was really strange. And then I was sitting there, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, okay, I'm not in hell. Something feels good now. What's going to happen? And I'm sitting there, and then my mind gets flooded with everything I want to do in life. I'm making music. I'm making good art. I'm a nurse. I have a good wife. It's just everything that I'm passionate about. It just flooded my mind, and it's like I saw into my future. And I was just like, and I was just sitting there like, okay, I get it. That's what I was saying, like out loud. I was like, okay, I get it, because it was flooding my mind like so hard. It was overwhelming, and it was the trippiest thing. I was talking to my grandma, and for some reason, I was able to tell that I was talking to God through my grandma, right? And I was like, what did I do to deserve this? Which is, you know, seeing like me peering into the future of everything that I want to do with my life. Like just like being able to see that I'm going to live a good life. Like, what did I do to deserve this? You know, like, why are you giving me a second chance? And then he was basically just telling me like, you went through a lot, you know, your mom died, then your grandpa died, you know, all of this shit, you know, like you didn't really have a good childhood. And, you know, you were doing drugs, but you were still like holding in strong, just like affirming me. And it was so trippy, dude. It was so trippy, just like affirming me of just like, yeah, you were right. Like you don't deserve to, you know, just like be in hell or like live this terrible life. Like you're going to be fine. And I was just like, what the fuck's going on, dude? I was just like, what the fuck's going on? And I was crying. And then I'm still talking to my grandma. Trippy as shit. I look at my grandma, and then I'm able to tell that like my grandma, I'm looking at the person that I'm going to be with in the future. Okay, I'm looking.
She morphed into your
rule
future
number
wife.
3.
Like my grandma just got real. Like, my grandma was just like insanely attractive. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but so it was my grandma, but it was like there was like a different soul, and I was like able to. I knew who it was, but I didn't know the identity. If that makes sense. I'm with Kaylee now, and Kaylee, we kissed each other in kindergarten. And we were never really friends after that. But then I happened to start hanging out with her friend group with my friend Diego around the same time. So this is a couple months before I got with Kaylee. And I'm looking at my grandma, and I'm able to tell that this is the person I'm going to be with. And I'm like shocked at who it is, but I don't know who it is at the same time. I'm like, what the fuck? How does that even work? Like, that's the person?
Oh, like later when you saw her, you were like, oh, that's the energy I was feeling when I was tripping.
So I was looking at my grandma, and I saw who it was, and I was just like, like blown away. I was like, I couldn't believe that was the person I was going to be with, but at the same time, I didn't know who it
You
was.
saw my face.
Saw Lucas's luscious hair and was like, I'm marrying
Just
that.
the back.
You
It's
saw
like,
the back of my head.
Dude, yeah.
Turns
Saw the
around,
luscious
it's just
locks.
dude.
Listen, I don't know if this was a part of the trip, but I got the biggest hard on I've ever had in my life.
You're being so for real?
No.
Oh, I thought you were being so real. I was like,
He saw
oh
the
my
back
God.
of Lucas's head and he was like, you know what?
So, I don't know. It might not sound too significant, but the reaction that I had when that happened was like the exact same reaction I would have had if I found out I was going to end up dating Kaylee, because like that was the last person I would have expected myself to be with.
Hmm.
Because I don't know, like we weren't even like good friends or anything. Like we were just like hanging out with their friend group during the summertime. Because one day, like I think we saw that they were hanging out in Mountain Grove, and like me and Diego were also in Mountain Grove, and then we hung out with them, and then we hung out with them a couple times after that. For some reason, I don't know how or why. Like you should have seen me. Like I was fucking ugly, dude. Like I had just brushed my hair, and like I was fatter too, but Kaylee liked me. And there was before she went to Southern, because she went to Southern for a bit for college. I guess she wanted to hang out with me, right? Just me and her. And I
Mhm.
didn't want to. I was like,
Like, ugh.
no. You know, I was just like,
He's like, damn, you kind of chopped.
you know,
I don't know.
that's not what I was
Wow.
thinking. So, but I wasn't like looking for anything at the time, because this is around the exact same time where like I buzzed off my hair so I wouldn't give a shit about women. That's what I did. Like I buzzed my hair off, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna like look in the mirror and I'm going to be ugly every single day. So, you know, I don't even need to be like having thoughts of me like being with a girlfriend or something, because you know no one's gonna want me, right? Because that was around the time where like I wanted a partner, but I was like trying to like let go of it so I wouldn't obsess over it. So I cut off all of my hair, and I was using a flip phone.
I think that's the worst part of it.
yeah, that was honestly it helped though. It really did. Like I kind of stopped caring. Like I wasn't,
Maybe I should.
No more Twitter.
I just stopped fucking caring.
Buzz my hair.
Yeah, no, you really should, dude.
I'm
You really
not
should.
doing that shit, bro.
But yeah, so then
love you.
Thanks, babe.
so me and Diego, we met up with their friend group. And then Sophia was like, "Oh, hey, like Kaylee wants to hang out with you." And I was just thinking, I was just like, I was ready to just go home. I was just gonna be like, "Nah, you know, sorry. You know, like I gotta go home." I was like, "Okay, you know what? Fine. You know, like maybe there's something going on that I could help with." That's what I was thinking, because I knew she was having a hard time because she was gonna go all the way to Tennessee and she was like just gonna leave everyone behind. So I was just like, you know what? Like, you know, I've been through a couple things. I know some shit. You know, like maybe I can give her some advice, or just like make the situation a little bit easier to deal with. But as I was driving to meet up with her, I was just thinking about the trip that I had, and I was just like, fuck, like this is probably the chick that was in my trip. Because I would never expect myself to get with this girl. And she likes me for some reason, which is basically like the first time a girl had liked me since I was like 8 years old.
Damn.
So I was just like it probably is. It's probably the person I'm going to end up being with. And we talked that night, and she was just telling me about herself, and we were having a good conversation. And then as we were talking, I was just like I might end up liking her, because like just the shit she was telling me, it lined up with the type of girl like I had wanted to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was even hanging out with her. Like, you know, being a college student is a kind of, you know, normal thing, but like I wanted someone that like got their shit done. You know what I mean? And like she fucking gets her shit done. And that's something that I wanted, because it's hard for me to get my shit done.
Mm.
And you know, we were just talking, we hung out, it was cool. And then we hung out the second night. We were sitting in the car. We hung out for a while. I took her to Dave and Buster's because I had money at the time. So we went to Dave and Buster's, we were hanging out. And then I started liking her. I was like, fuck, like, you know, like, we'll just see where this goes. And at the end of the night, we were sitting at a view. And then I was already thinking, like, fuck, I think I want to kiss her. Like, in my mind, I was like, fuck, but I don't have the balls to do it. I'm a pussy.
Fuck?
And we so I was like thinking of what I was going to say, if I like actually was gonna make it happen, like okay, like if I'm actually going to say something, what do I say? I need to be cool, right? I was like, okay, I need to be swagged out if I try and make this proposal here. So we were sitting in the car, saying nothing. It was dead silent, and then I was like, so what's going on, Beast? That's what I said. I was like,
You called her Beast.
yeah, I was like, so what's going on, Beast? And she was like,
What's going on, Mr. Beast?
yeah, I was like, so what's going on, Beast? And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like,
It's like you look like a wolf. That's
was
what I
like,
mean.
okay. I was like, shit, it's a fucking full moon, you know?
You howl often or
Yeah.
what?
Then a lot of hair started growing on my arms and shit.
It's kind of hot.
No, but then and I was like, well, can I kiss you right now or what? And then she was like, what? And I was just like, oh fuck, like I must have fucked up because I was like, I thought she liked me because like the response she gave me was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
It's like,
that
ew.
was just a response because she was just like really surprised that I even said that because she thought I was joking
Uh-huh.
because that's some shit I would say like. But she thought I was joking, and then I was just like, fuck, like I'm such a dumbass. I shouldn't have said that. And then I was just like, well, am I tripping for saying that? And she was like, no. And then we started having a conversation, and then I was talking about the whole mushroom trip and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I was just telling her, like, there's no way that this is a coincidence. Like, how do I have that reaction? And then, like, this shit ends up happening, and, like, now we're just hanging out, just like the two of us. So we had a long-ass conversation. And then we kissed, and then the moment we got done kissing, it was 4:44 on the clock. The very second we got done kissing, it was 4:44 on the clock. And then I was like, that's weird. You know, I've heard something. I've heard about like angel numbers or whatever. I always thought it was like some retarded shit, right? I always thought it was like some like
I agree.
some, like you know, I always thought it was like some like stupid ass, just like, you know, like girls playing with rocks type of shit.
Some
And-
crystals type shit.
And I saw it, and I didn't really think much of it. I just thought it was cool. And then I looked it up, and like I read about it. I was like, oh, that's crazy, right? But ever since that night, I couldn't stop seeing them. I couldn't stop. They were just following me. Like I kept seeing the numbers.
Who?
I kept seeing the numbers.
The angel numbers.
Yeah,
Oh, the angels?
yeah. I kept seeing the numbers.
Do you know what an angel number is?
No.
It's like when all the numbers are like 1111 or like technically
Like
666.
222. It's usually just
Right.
like 3 or 4 numbers. And it was weird because I couldn't stop seeing the numbers after that. I could not stop seeing them. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, I couldn't stop seeing the numbers. And it was weird because it was like, because I made it a habit, like whenever I would see the number, I would look it up. And, you know, like the description of the numbers were always like completely aligned with what's been going on in my head.
They all have like different meanings.
Yes, they all have
Oh,
different meanings.
okay.
And every time I look them up, I'd be like, that's so weird. I've been thinking about that. Every single time. It was never a miss. It was like I would look it up and I was just like, I've been thinking about that exact same shit and I've been feeling that exact same way.
My God, you're such a Pisces.
I'm a Libra.
Dude.
it's like star signs.
But you know, I had already had a relationship with God at one point. No, not at one point. Like at that point in my life and before that, I had a relationship with God, but it wasn't like the strongest thing ever. Like I was praying and stuff, and you know, I definitely like I believed he was real because like I had already had some experiences where I was just like fuck, like, you know, God's playing a part in my life. And it made sense to me because it was like, you know, I was doing a lot of shit that I shouldn't have been doing, but you know, like I always knew that my intentions were good, like no matter what I was doing, what I was going through.
Mm.
But I kept seeing the numbers, I was looking them up. It was like in direct accordance with what was going on in my life and shit. After that trip, I was just like, it became cemented to me that like, okay, like God's doing something in my life, or like he's helping me. And so then I started praying a lot. I started praying a lot more. And, you know, I started like trying to do better for myself. I tapered off the weed like a lot.
Fire.
You know, I wasn't really drinking. Any other drugs I was doing, I just stopped doing. I was just like, fuck, like maybe this is the time where I should start trying to do the hard shit. You all right?
And I itch there.
But that kind of just made me figure like, okay, like, you know, if I really feel like God is over here watching me do what I'm doing, and he's here to help me. Maybe this is the time where I start bringing myself to like give it a shot to do the hard shit, which is just like letting go of the shit that has a hold on me that isn't good for me. Everything became like magically easier for me to do, and weird shit started happening. Like I started feeling like I was high when I wasn't, but like not in
Damn.
like in a way where like I felt light and everything felt good. Like it was like no matter what was going on in my life or what could have happened, I would be able to deal with it optimistically and be joyful. And I felt very light, and I just felt calm all the time. And it was just like my head was just screwed on straight, dude. Like I was just I was just thinking how I should be thinking about anything. I wasn't getting stressed out about shit.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a job, and it was still hard for me, to like, keep applying for jobs and all that shit. But, I just like, I remained optimistic because after that experience, I was just like, fuck, like, I tried to not use it as an excuse to just like sit around and, be lazy, So I was like, I was applying for jobs, but it was still hard. Shit like seemed hopeless a little bit. But I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna land the job. I'm gonna land the job. It's going to happen, and like I'm going to get a job that's good for me. Like I wanted a job where I was interacting with people, like
Yeah.
customers. That's what I wanted, big time. And I wanted to be like serving people. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Got a decent amount of interviews. Kicked ass in those interviews.
Wait, so
Didn't get any of them.
before you get any further, I just want to ask this, like, because I've been thinking this for a while. Would you say you experienced ego death in like have you heard of the term ego death?
Yes.
So like, would you say your shroom trip was ego death?
What's ego death?
So, because I've been interested in shrooms for a while. Lucas might know what I'm talking about. Ego death. Ego death is like
Like the Freud ego? No.
bro.
What I say doesn't matter. Like the
Yeah,
Freud
it does.
ego.
You're on the podcast. What do you mean?
You're on the podcast, nigga.
So ego death is like the death of all. Lucas can correct me because I feel like he knows more about what other people say. From what I understand, it's the death of all. It's like reaching nirvana, kind of. You see clearly for the first time. You're no longer interested in self. You feel connected with like Earth, the universe, all that, and you're very like you can see clearly for the first time.
So it's like reaching self-actualization.
Kind of. I don't know,
It's
Lucas.
like
Lucas, how would
completing
you
your
how would
hierarchy
you
of
describe
needs.
ego death?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good description. Like people also say like enlightenment,
Enlightenment.
nirvana,
Yeah.
enlightenment. But it's like you end like psychological suffering,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't say that you have ended psychological suffering.
I mean, would you say you got close to ego death?
Ego death is a temporary thing.
Is it? Because I've heard of it referred to like a lifelong thing.
Ego death is it's a temporary experience that can like change your perception possibly forever. So like for example, like you can experience ego death and then like you said, like you feel more connected with everything and whatever, but that's not going to last forever. You're still going to get caught up with your life eventually, but it'll be easier for you to deal with things that you go through probably, or it'll be easier for you to like I was saying, like like think optimistically or whatever type of bullshit. But either way, like you're going to, at least what I think, like you're still you're going to stay human basically.
So would you say like that sounds pretty close to what you experienced. So would you say it was ego death?
I mean, based off of what everyone says about ego death, I don't think so, because the experience is like it feels like you're there forever, and like
Like one of those ones where like you're on a DMT trip and you live like
Yeah,
60
like-
years.
yeah, like I can't really remember too well what people's experiences were, but I mean maybe it was similar.
I mean,
Mhm.
yeah,
The
they
way-
could have overhyped
the
it.
way I like to think about it was just like, I don't know, the way that I feel about it was just I made a decision, which was to do the shrooms, and it happened for a reason,
Yeah.
because I was having I was just going through a dark time, and that kind of yanked me out of it. Regardless, back to what I was saying.
Yeah. Sorry for
Like,
interrupting. I
no,
was
no,
just
no, no, no,
curious.
you're good. But I don't think I experienced ego death. I definitely think my ego like dissolved a bit from it.
Mm.
I definitely think that happened. Maybe like some ego dissolution, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was like a full on ego death based off of what people have talked about. But I was feeling, I don't know, it felt weird. Like it was like I was maybe it could have been ego death because the way I felt for a while was like I felt intact with like my soul. Like
Yeah.
it's like it was like I was living on Earth. I was experiencing Earth, but living in the spiritual realm. If that makes sense, that's what it
Like
felt
even after the shrooms?
Yes, for a long time, for months. For
See, I
months
feel like
after
that. I think I would say personally, at least from what I'm hearing, I would say that's ego death. Because I like personally, I've been really interested in shrooms for like the mental kind of like reconstruction of it all
Right.
and like the therapeutic aspects of it. I mean, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever do it, but it has been like a area of interest for me.
Yeah.
So I wonder like how other like I always ask other people. Like I was driving home from prom with this one guy, and he was talking about
You
his
went to prom
experience
with the
shroom. No, I was the driver for a bunch of my friends, and I was driving back with one of them, and then he was talking about his experience with shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he had like an awful trip, which sucks. But like everyone else I've asked has been like, oh yeah, I've had like a great trip. I realized a lot about myself, about the universe, and all that. And I mean, like personally, I think shrooms can be very helpful, depending on who you are.
Right.
I think it's like I know a lot of people are like on the debate of like, oh, should this be used medically? And I don't think it helps enough people to be recommended for pharmaceutical use. But I do think there's definitely potential in it.
I agree with that. I think like depending on the type of trip you have, like if you're a really anxious or like obsessive person, it definitely helps like put shit into perspective.
Yeah.
Because I had done shrooms a couple of times before that trip, and like the
Oh.
trips were good, and it was mostly just like I just felt better about everything.
Yeah.
Like, I still comprehended everything that was going on in my life, but everything was just better. Like things like literally like visually, everything was like more colorful. Everything was more colorful, and just like you get hit with like a sense of gratitude instead of the opposite.
See, that sounds like a good trip.
Yeah.
I feel like shrooms is one of those things that gets a bad rap for being like hippie nonsense. But I feel like it's one of those drugs that like helps more than hurts, you know?
It depends, because if you're someone that's prone to psychosis, you can't enter
Well, I think that part is true for all
Yeah.
drugs.
well, that's true.
If you're
but-
someone who's
but-
very
but,
prone
like,
to that.
If you're someone, because there are people that, they could be prone to psychosis, but they'll never end up psychotic unless they take a psychedelic.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's scary, because it's just like can't really know if you're prone
That's
to
why
being psychotic.
that's why I also don't think it should be like a medical standard practice.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't think it should be a medical standard practice. I think, I don't know. It's kind of hard to be like, oh, go ahead and do it. But I definitely agree with like, depending on the type of person you are, it could definitely help. It could definitely help with some shit.
Yeah, I don't know, drugs are a very interesting topic.
So, how does fentanyl feel?
Have
Yeah,
you done fent?
I
Or have you been laced?
kind of. So, well, my grandpa, he was on home hospice.
Oh, I remember this story.
And so
yeah.
like I like kind of intentionally put on a fentanyl patch without putting gloves on.
Oh, wait, that was actual fent?
Yeah, it was fentanyl.
Oh, I did not hear this story. I thought you were talking about the time you
Yeah,
took
no,
his meds.
No, yeah, I took all of his meds.
Holy shit.
Bro, after he died, when a in-home hospice patient dies,
Yeah.
they get rid of all of the medication. What they do is they get a diaper, and then they put dish soap.
fuck?
They put dish soap in the diaper, and then they rub the pills together
Yeah.
to dissolve them, and then they throw the diaper away.
Really?
Yes, but
Why wouldn't they just like
But I kept
take them back
I
to the
kept
pharmacy?
a decent amount of pills. I kept some oxycodone and some morphine, and then I
Oh, fuck yeah.
but I did all that
As
shit.
you do.
But I
Do
actually
you still have those?
I kept them just in case. I don't have it.
Fuck.
No, I kept them
That's funny.
just in case a family member or a friend experienced an injury. Because
Oh, an
they're
injury.
painful.
I'm injured on the inside.
Because I kept them knowing that like I would probably end up abusing them, but like I was like, okay, like if I hurt myself or if someone else gets really hurt,
Yeah.
I can have these if I don't end up using them.
It's like
And
not
which
a
I
good
was
thing to
actually
do.
able, which I was actually able to do. I took some of them, but my cousin, she's a stoner, and I don't know if any of you have heard of this, but it's called a cannabinoid hyperemesis.
Oh yeah, where you get
Which-
hella nauseous.
Well, it makes you hella nauseous, but you also experience like very severe abdominal pain, like
Yeah.
really fucking bad. And so I gave her the morphine I had, and that helped. So I was able to use it, but I took
Damn.
all the oxycodone.
Like you ingested it?
I took the pills. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
fuck yeah!
Oxycodone sucks. I fucking hate it, dude.
Really?
Oxycodone. Okay.
What's the downsides?
The downsides is it makes you insanely stomach sick, like really fucking bad.
Oh.
Like yeah, like you feel insanely nauseous.
Yeah.
You feel like you're more car sick than should even be possible.
I think a lot of anesthetics and like opiates are like that. They do give you a lot of like stomach reactions. That's why a lot of times
Yeah.
when you're doing anesthesia, they give you like they'll give you like what's the one? They'll give you propofol, and then they'll also give you ondansetron, which is like an antiemetic or like anti nausea.
Well, there's actually a study on opiates where in autopsies, like weeks or months after they took their painkillers, they were still in their stomach.
In the stomach?
Yeah,
Like the pill?
the pill, dude.
Oh, so they take a while to dissolve.
Yeah, they take.
That's
forever.
weird, cause like
Ain't no way.
Because like, you know the myth of gum, where it's like, oh, gum
Oh, yeah.
stays in your.
So it's basically
Why
like
do you have your mic.
both of these niggas on their phone. Just like, Lily, who's the Lily?
Screenagers.
Oh, fuck.
Lucas, hold his mic to his mouth.
Jokes about.
Caleb,
I'm texting my sister, guys.
anyways,
say
I
whatever-
mean, I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're good. I mean, I've been talking for a while anyway.
Yeah.
But all I have to say, just to kind of wrap it up so I don't keep telling the same story, 'cause it's just so long. But basically, I
Got a long
kind of
life.
just, in my personal experience, it's just like everything truly does happen for a reason. Like I wholeheartedly believe that every single thing you experience or do happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But I also think that you can, like, everything happens for a reason, but at the same time, like your free will can also, cause a lot of problems, right? Like you need to be you need to choose to be self-aware if you want everything that happens to you to fit into a pattern for good, basically. Meaning just like, like if you want like results in your life, if you want good results, oh shit. But yeah, like if you want results in your life, like you can't like, sorry, I keep looking at your belt. I'm not looking at your dick, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
Whose belt?
Nah,
But
you-
yours, I keep looking at the buckle of your belt because it's shiny.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's actually got a sick belt. This fucking
not-
mic is gonna kill me. He's got a
That's not
sick
working.
belt. Yeah, I know. There's a short in it.
I just think
It looks like a
everything happens
G.
for reason.
When have you seen it?
I said you've worn that a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first time I saw, it, I was like, "Yo, is that G for Goldtham?" You were like, "No," but people have asked that before.
Gucci.
Oh, really?
Is it Gucci? What is it?
No, I just bought it online.
Is it supposed to be a G or is it supposed to be
I
something
don't
else?
know.
Gang.
I just wanted something that was silver, and I got it. It kind of looks like the start of my signature, though. I mean, it's right here. I think it picks it up.
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear it.
Oh,
You have water or some shit?
I don't. Lucas, do you have water inside? We could
Inside
take
of
a water break.
that's what happens when someone talks for so long. I've gone
Yeah,
through that
you need
before.
you need something to
yeah,
refresh.
yeah. Actually, we should
Do you
probably
want to take a
should get
water
more.
break?
I feel bad. I got caught up.
No, you're good, you're good.
I have some questions about it.
Oh, bad.
I mean, it makes sense because like I've talked to you about some of this stuff. Like you told me about the Shroom trip. Isaiah has never heard it. I don't think Caleb's heard it. Caleb,
Nah,
heard it?
not at all.
Yeah,
You and Lucas have heard it.
yeah. Me and
I've
Lucas.
heard it.
Yeah.
I've heard it all.
He's heard
I
it.
don't know. I feel like I don't know. Shrooms. I'm on the fence about it because like on one hand, I'm a very anxious person. I feel like my potential to have a bad trip is really high, but I also feel like it could help because I've heard of like a bunch of like
No,
the ego death
shrooms
stuff.
is definitely something where like you need to take it in like a
controlled setting.
decently stabilized state of mind. Like if you're like kind of bouncing all over the walls and you want to kill yourself and shit, it's probably not a good idea. But
So
yeah,
don't
yeah,
take
you
them.
definitely like you need to.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I think you
It's
need
me
to,
right now.
you need to like kind of get yourself together before you do some shit.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And I did it recklessly, and then I had a bad trip. So I think that's
Yeah.
a testament to that as well.
It's like
That's-
gambling. You either change your life or you lose it all.
That's the. I mean, that's like exactly what I'm struggling with. So I don't think it'd be
Maybe
a
not
good
right
idea
now.
right now,
Yeah.
especially with like suicidal ideation and all that shit.
Right.
Not to get too deep, but yeah, I don't know, but it was. I mean, that's a very interesting story. I think you have a very good perspective.
I mean, I think
on-
it's really, really cool.
I honestly I like your perspective on life, and I think
yeah, honestly,
the
me
things
too.
you've done up until now have really shaped the way you see everything.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think not that I want to follow in your footsteps, but I wish I had the same like level of clarity that you do. Because honestly, like, I feel like a lot of people have that of like you wanna understand. God fuck. You wanna understand everything in life. You wanna understand like why we're here and all the questions of life.
Honestly, if you want clarity, you kind of like. I think you got to go through hell to get clarity, man. Like,
I mean, I totally agree. But do
Literally.
you think
Really
clarity
do.
has to necessarily come from spirituality? Do you think those are mutually
No,
exclusive or
not at all.
tied?
I think, for me, like I was like the complete opposite of like a spiritual person before I started experiencing shit.
Yeah.
Like the reason why I started believing in God so heavily is because like I kind of got to a point in my life where I wanted to do good for myself more than I ever had before. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to genuinely do good for myself. I wanted to create a good life for myself. And I tried my best to make good decisions even though I was fucking up.
I think we should take a water break.
Water break.
Yeah, let's do a water break. Let's do
Yeah.
a water break.
Well, we're gonna take a little water break,
Let's get a gallon of water
and then we will
Isaiah,
get
you
back.
agree? A gallon of water.
So we will
Hell
see you guys in
yeah.
a
I think
second.
so.
And we're back from our little water break. Me and Lamor just kissed, and I
We did
I
just
liked
kiss.
it.
Yeah, no, honestly, like
Light him up.
I don't know. Like I have a girlfriend, but now I don't really know how to feel. Like there's something.
There's too much of a spark between us.
That's exactly what I was about to
I
say.
feel like now we gotta fuck.
And you just like you have like like kind of long hair too and stuff. It's just
Something to grab onto.
We should kiss.
Guys, I want
there's
that
something-
chocolate. I want that chocolate wand.
bro.
I need that. I need some chocolate in my life. Anyways, or does anyone else want to take their stories?
I thought we were talking about.
Not gonna say what I was gonna say.
Racial slur.
But yeah, I don't know. What did you wanna add to that? We can. I'm down to talk about whatever. The mental block is gone. Yeah. What about it? Oh, you want to talk about that you and me?
Huh?
You want to talk about that just you and me?
What?
What
Did you want to talk
happened?
about that right now on
We'll
the
cut it
podcast?
out.
Bro.
Yeah. Or no,
You gotta light
like,
us up.
it was
On.
just like a conversation because I never talked.
Wait, this is probably gonna get
about
cut,
it.
right? So I can
Oh,
say
did you
the
want to talk
N-word?
about?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Before
Red 4.
I'm witnessing history right now. This is a
because it
conversation.
never happened.
Is this crazy?
Because you just
For
don't-
context, this conversation has been waiting for like 2 years.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
word.
Oh God.
So,
yes, please.
You two enjoy this.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna
The
continue to
jazz
say
Bated
business,
breath.
bro.
Bated breath.
What?
Bated breath.
With me.
Beta breath.
Bated breath. I'm waiting. I'm excited.
Oh, it involves you, buddy.
Drum roll,
Oh,
please.
Oh, he's
Fuck.
talking to you.
Oh fuck.
So you remember that one time it was like a camporee.
We were on top of the RV.
That experience in general.
Yes.
And you're walking with me.
Yes.
I think
you
this
asked
needs to be
me-
like a mediated conversation. If this gets heated, I'm gonna get between you two.
Oh, it's not gonna get heated.
It's not gonna get heated.
Pass.
It's fast.
But that one day where you asked me, you're all like, "Hey, about
Yeah.
You can say
Dude.
names. I'll bleep it.
yeah." You're like, "Do you like her?"
You should have been honest.
And I was all like, "No,
You should have been honest.
I wasn't honest.
You should have been
I liked
honest.
her.
I would have dropped her so fast.
I liked her, bro.
Dude.
Like that was like my that was like
Come the freak
That
on.
was
Hey,
my-
hey.
my experience.
Hindsight is 2020.
that was my
Dude,
experience. Oh yeah, this was back in.
You gotta
20.
understand, Isaiah's the type of person to not want to step on toes.
But
He
it
is-
happens every time. Like Gabby and then Jasmine. Like, come on.
Bleep
That
the
is true. That did
Oh,
happen.
I mean, okay.
sorry.
No, that's fine.
Like, I'm.
But
No,
okay, I'm just gonna bleep all names. Gabby was more of an influential relationship for you than Jasmine. We can agree on that. You have told me that.
Yes.
You've told me that Gabby affected you a lot more than Jasmine.
Absolutely.
So I feel like, in hindsight, yes, but also, like, I don't know. I don't want to make you feel bad.
No, you're good.
In the past, if you would have been honest, Caleb would have been in the same spot. I don't think Jasmine affected him that badly. Not nearly as much as
I would have
Gabby.
been fine. On God. Like, once somebody else steps in, I'm able to let go. So now that Jasmine has been, I've been able to let go. But now that Gabby's kind of in the ambiguous spot, that's why it was problematic. But once he started,
Mm.
then I was more fine.
So you
Yes.
okay?
That's weird. But
Yeah. Shut
I
the
like
fuck up.
I mean,
My
Oh,
Whoa.
Let's calm
Okay.
down. That's a long ass bleep. Oh my god. Do we need to just like get the rules out now? Just like
Hey,
No.
we're bleeping anyways.
Was it- was it a tick?
No.
anyways.
anyway.
And
moving
chat.
on.
Yeah.
Yo, chat. Wait.
No, it was bad, bro. Zach talking about how Gabby was an influential part of your life. It was probably opposite for me.
Oh yeah.
It was tough. It was really 2020, 2021,
It was
2022.
2022.
no, because you liked her for like a year before that.
20.
Actually, no. Was that the first time you started liking her?
No, it's been going for a little.
I mean, okay, him and me were on and off when I was on and off with Gabby. So this was like when we
No,
were like
I
12.
It wasn't not then.
You
I-
did like her back then.
Yeah, but not like that. Not like really. I was like, oh, she's pretty. Like, but
Yeah.
Like, not
like oh, she's attractive.
yeah,
But
like,
it's been like more.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not to
but-
use the forbidden word, but
you can use it. But anyways, right?
later. This
Uh,
fucking cable. Oh my god.
Yeah, I did resent you a little bit during that time because that trip
This is a
was
safe
going-
space. This is a safe
that
space.
trip was
Caleb.
going like really well
No.
with her, and then you came along and you're all like, do you like her? And I was like, no. And then that RV situation happened.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like what? Like why? Why did I just let that happen?
Yeah.
And yeah, it does go back to like, and I had stepped aside for a long time. Like this is the fact that this is my first time bringing this up to you is kind of crazy, but I have, I guess, moved on more since then. I don't know. Do you know when that campery was? What does this guy have?
Bro's pulling up the records.
The
Yeah.
calendar.
Wait. I have a record of like the past since 2020.
Well, that's the time I had a swim meet that day, right? Is that why I didn't go? Was that the second? Was that the
You weren't-
first path? Was that the first campery I missed, or the second one?
Caleb, you
First?
record. You
Okay,
record
that was the time I
every
had a
day?
swim meet.
No.
No.
This
Second,
was
se-
September. I'm gonna say September 2023. Yeah.
So like almost. So that's when it was. I think I just started getting over that situation like this year.
I'm
the
sorry.
beginning of this
So it's
year.
been,
I'm
been 2
sorry.
years.
It was that sent me down such a dark path.
I'm sorry.
No, not even just you, but like just my relationship with her in general, which is kind of a reason why I kind of distance myself these days to keep myself in a better headspace.
From us or from her?
What do you mean?
Distance.
From you guys or her?
Yeah.
No, her.
Oh, okay.
And I guess because like I don't know, being in that environment kind of reminds me of myself. And I guess the reason why I just started getting better was because I didn't have to see her anymore. I'm no longer a part of Pathfinders. But dude, it was so bad. Like I have problems in my relationship life where I struggle with commitment. I struggle with like being certain about a certain person, and people get hurt in the process when I do that, and I hate myself for it, but I would keep doing it, and it sucked. But I'd never been so like certain about a person before in my life, right? That like I look at this person, I'm like, you, like, I could see myself being with you, like, for the rest of my life, right? Like you could be my person, because I'd been searching for that type of commitment for a long time, and to have that mindset about someone and to keep them at such a high pedestal, and they don't show that back, is like a really tough like thing to have. You kind of look at yourself and like you just keep finding what's wrong with you because you look at them so well and you can't
He knows.
think of them doing
He
anything.
knows.
What does that mean?
What? Oh, just
Give me an insight.
me too, homie.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, be so for real.
Yeah.
You guys went from like possibly hating each other to now.
No.
bonding.
I mean,
I
he
would've
hated
never-
me.
No, I
feel
didn't- I
so-
never-
I
I
feel
never-
bad.
No.
I
he
didn't
never
hate
hated-
you.
I don't think anyone ever hated each other.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But I'm saying like now you guys are like bonding over this, but because it's because it's with two different women, it's okay. That's so funny. You should tell the story about what happened to you in COVID. Has he heard this story?
No, he hasn't.
Do you want to tell this story?
It's his story,
Me?
not mine.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Okay.
Lamora, have you heard the story
Yeah,
about the
wait.
time he ran
No,
3 miles barefoot?
I haven't heard any stories about
Oh,
Caleb.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
gosh, that. Oh wait, that'd be so funny.
That's the only.
to-
That's the only spoiler.
I'm loving all.
Everything
that's
else
all.
is-
That's all the spoilers, bro.
That's
No,
the whole
it's-
You're
story.
giving you giving premise, and it's like
there's still some impact in my
there's still
opinion.
some impact. Okay.
Tell it. It would be fun.
Wait, no, we haven't finished this. We
Oh
haven't
yeah.
finished
Oh,
this.
yeah,
Finish
right.
yours first.
And then but I ended up confessing to her. I did, yeah.
Yes.
In 2023
20
December. I know that because I remember that it's in my journal. What's bro looking for?
At this point, I might just invest
For
in
my
like
date.
4 lavalier mics.
Looking for my dates. Looking
What's
for
gonna
my
be in that
dates.
date?
What's gonna be in that dates?
This is like
When I did my confession.
oh, I think you were with her.
If only you could control F.
Wasn't that
Wait,
near
yeah,
September?
Caleb, didn't you guys
wasn't
date?
like near September? Wasn't that like literally like right after?
Because I remember. Okay, I'm gonna tell my side of this story because I think it's fucking hilarious. We were at Pathfinders one day, and I'm talking to her. Me and Isaiah are both talking to her. We're having our own conversation. I think you and Lucas were off doing something else, and you come by. I think you're leaving. I think you're about to go home, and me, Isaiah, and Jasmine are all talking, and you come up and are like, I don't remember if you said babe, but you said something to her.
Oh yeah.
And then you kissed her on the head.
And then you
What?
walked away. You're
What?
like
So okay,
That
wait.
never
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
No.
No, yeah, it
bitch.
did happen.
There's 2
It did
people
happen.
here saying
It did
Why
happen.
would I do that?
You're
Caleb,
crazy.
bro,
That's
you're
You're
psychologically
crazy.
damaging to me now.
honey, baby girl.
we were
listen-
at the church
baby
and
girl, listen
you
to
like
me.
said like I'm going to see you, babe, or something like that. You kissed the back of her head. You walked away.
And then me and Isaiah are both here like
We both looked at each other.
we were like
what the frick?
and then Jasmine goes, "What?" And I was like, "We're just not gonna talk about what happened." She goes, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Bitch."
Did you ever get insight on that? Like if it was a lie or if it was actually the truth?
Oh no, she told me about the whole thing.
What do you mean?
Either Claire or Jasmine told me about the whole situation between Caleb and Jasmine.
Right, but
That was so funny. I mean, we're not
That didn't happen.
Yes, it did.
it did.
That would stick in my memory if it did.
We
I
definitely
would
watched
never
it.
do
Caleb
something
Baptist?
that.
we
on-
definitely. I
on my
literally
mother,
saw
my
it.
father, my
I
roommate's
saw
life. It happened.
I saw it, bro, and I was
Because
like,
that is a core
This is
memory for
sick.
me and Isaiah.
This is sick. I don't remember this at all.
sick
That's
twisted or
amazing.
sick cool.
That's cool. That's insane. Wait, dude, I'm getting tea about myself. This is
so funny.
sick.
No,
What?
I'm being so for real.
Yo.
Me and Isaiah were so confused.
That's insane. That's insane. Wait, can you give me a month on that? Can you give me a month on that?
oh my gosh,
No,
you always need a month.
I cannot.
Because I have the
Give me
month.
a
I have the
month on
months
that.
all down. I have the months
It
all
was.
down.
I think it was
Chat,
guide.
clip
It was probably
that.
guide.
Clip
So it's
that,
2022
give me.
maybe. You don't remember ever dating her? You guys dated for like a week or
No.
two.
No.
So you guys were dating for like 2 weeks because you told her you liked her. She said, "I also have feelings for you," and you guys had this little fling for like. No, it must have been like 2 months because it was for 2 Pathfinder meetings. And then you guys just like stopped, and me and Isaiah were like, "They break up? Like what the fuck?"
So that's what you consider dating?
I mean,
Because like,
okay, you don't have to.
yeah, forget it. Forget
am-
it.
am
Forget
I-
it. Technicalities doesn't matter.
At that age, yes, that's dating.
Okay.
That's how me and my first girlfriend
Okay.
were dating.
Okay.
So, all right. Actually, I don't know.
That's
Because that's kind of what happened with me.
I don't
If I
remember
consider
that at all.
dating.
That's so crazy. I'm learning new things about myself.
Kill yourself.
There's no way.
This is why it's so funny to have dementia.
There's no
know.
Do you,
way.
think, do you think like dementia
real.
patients also have this where they're hearing like their childhood memories for the first time? They're like, "Oh my god."
No,
No.
I think they're just like, who did that?
It's so funny. Yeah, this happened. And
That's crazy.
That's
I
crazy
remember
that
this
you don't
because I
remember
think
that.
I was distraught by it a little bit.
I was probably a little bit angry too.
He was. I know you were definitely.
Wait, so why did it end?
Because she said she wasn't ready for anything at the time.
Yeah.
And then later on in life, I mean, this is like 3 years before she got with her current boyfriend.
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy.
It's honestly it's
That's
kinda
so
funny.
crazy.
It's actually hilarious.
That's so crazy.
That's also another reason why I was so freaking like
I'm so sorry.
dead at VBS. Remember that one VBS
You
time
just,
where
you
I was
just disliked
Oh,
me.
I
depressed the
remember that
entire
time.
You just
He was-
disliked me the whole time.
So that time was that the time I canceled on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not really canceled, but like I really wanted you there.
That
Dude.
okay. In that case, it was 2023
Dude.
because that was
Yeah.
that was my first summer working at Drayson Center.
Yeah.
Because you and me were working Drayson Center, and I couldn't do VBS because we were doing PSLs, and he was like, "Are you doing VBS?" And I was like, "I can't. I have work." I said it in kind of an asshole way, but I was also really stressed with swim lessons. But yeah, so it must have been close to that time. You look distraught right now, buddy.
So mean.
So mean.
Like, why am I so unintentionally
Hey, 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 hey.
problematic?
Let's talk about this in a healthy way. You can't blame yourself.
Yeah.
Because it has to be, you have to, like, both people have to take accountability in this situation. He didn't say anything. I'm not pointing blame at anyone, but let's talk about it like in retrospect, right? He didn't say anything about the feelings that he had, so you took the opportunity you thought you had. So
Right.
you can't blame yourself, but he also can't really blame you, and he doesn't blame you. He's
Yeah, none of you guys can really blame yourselves or each other
yeah.
because it's like when you're a young dude
Got it.
and you like somebody, you don't really know what to do with yourself.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
kinda don't like you guys need to remember that like we're still young as fuck. Like we're like in the present moment, like we're going to do shit that we're going to look on like a couple of years from now and be like, what the fuck was wrong with me? I'm such
Oh,
a
yeah.
retard. But like especially when you're like however old you guys were, how old were you guys when all this shit was happening?
17.
17, 16.
Yeah, that's the prime age
oh, fuck
for
ups.
just like because like when you're 16 and 17 years old, that's around the time where you think you have good judgment, but your judgment fucking sucks.
Oh yeah.
And like
Oh yeah.
you know, and especially when girls get involved when you are like 16 years old, like dude, that's just like you don't know what to fucking do with yourself, man. You really don't.
Right.
You really don't know what to do
Yeah.
with yourselves because it's like you know, if you want something you want it, but you know, at that age you can't really go about it in the right way. Like it's kind of like I mean, I don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of cryptic to me what I'm hearing because there's like a bunch of details being left out.
Yeah.
But it's like
Or
like you can't get hung up over stuff like that because
Yeah.
it's hard because you know you develop feelings and that's hard to deal with. But at the same time, you need to be like more merciful towards yourself and like the people that were around you because it's just like, oh, you know, we're all 16 years old. You know, it's just like that's the type of shit that it happens. It's bound to happen. When you're that age and like you and your boy like the same chick or whatever, I mean, it's gonna be hard to bring yourself to be like, yeah, I like them. Like that like being put in those shoes is kind of difficult. Like, if anything, the easiest way to go about it is just like, no, I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I don't like them. You know, that's kind of like it's like the natural response because you know, like with your like the way I imagine is like if I had a friend that liked the chick that I like and I knew that he liked them, but he didn't know that I did, you know, I would just be like, it's kind of like it's like a kind of like people pleasing type of feature that a lot of people have, like especially when you're young, like you don't want to get in the way of things because you know you feel like your problem is like it just comes from like not wanting to like have any problems and then regretting it later. You're not going to have the balls to just be like, yeah, I like her too when you're like 16 years old, you know? You're not. You know, you would have done the same thing if the roles were reversed. One thing that I like to tell myself a lot is like, am I going to give a fuck about this in 10 years? That's how I like to think about it because chances are 10 years from now, like, you guys are already like talking about it and laughing about it. Like, you know, who really gives a shit? You know, 16, like, made a mistake. It's whatever. You know, like, if you guys are already like learning, if you guys were already learning from a mistake like this, then that just means whatever situation you end up next, whether it's, you know, with a girl or just like some predicament you get put in your life, you know, it's just, it's like it kind of goes back to how I think about like everything happens for a reason. Like it's kind of just like you're just gonna learn from it, and then what you wanted at that time, you're actually going to end up getting because now it's something you're capable of like getting and holding on to. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Right. I mean, I don't regret any of what went down. Like all that. Like it was such a painful part of my life, but like that's kind of something you need to set you on the right track. Like I wasn't ready back then for a relationship at all. I was so hateful of myself and like uh I just don't think I was like mentally prepared for a relationship. So I'm grateful that it didn't go that way. I was just kind of looking for some way to like escape my own problems. Um but after that whole situation with her, after accepting it, I went on a whole um like mental journey to try to better myself and to stop thinking of myself in such a negative way. And I've actually prevailed and made progress. And I wouldn't be that way if it wasn't for that whole situation, like if that whole thing didn't happen, like I probably would still be hating myself. I would be trying to keep out of problems. I'd still be socially anxious and all that. And recently I've been great. Like I've made so much progress. I'm so proud of myself, and it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that Jasmine situation. Um and yeah, going back to him, that's just the way things go. Um and maybe that's why she was in my life, to set me on a better path for myself and to stop looking at things so negatively. Um and I hope that and that it's just I don't know. That's just life, I guess, Like things come in and out of your life for a reason. And I guess one of the core things is just her. And I'd be lying if I said like I still didn't have feelings, which is kind of a reason why she actually reached out once talking about like we should catch up. We should hang out,
Oh shoot.
go rock climbing.
Yo.
And I confessed again. I said, because this is when she's in her current relationship.
Yeah.
With her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I said, it wouldn't feel right to do anything with you, knowing my true intentions being to try to like get you. Knowing that you're in a relationship with another man.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I did that, I feel like I would be doing wrong to my own personal moral like thoughts and beliefs. So I told her, I said, I still have feelings for you as of right now, and I don't think that I should be in contact with you. And after that there was like some mixed stuff going on, but eventually I stopped talking to her again. And I want to keep it that way. I told Zach this. I was like, I still have hope. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have hope. But I am more, like I said like before, I was like, I couldn't imagine being with anyone else. I'm more okay with it not being her these days. But I still do have hope. And I told Zach, since I like Lamor, I am heavy on like things happen for a reason. So I told Zach, I was like, I have hope, but if, like, imagine she broke up, I wouldn't like do anything. Like I wouldn't be like, now's my opportunity. Like if she breaks up with her current thing, you fix it. Oh, nice. If she breaks up with her current situation,
yeah,
she will like a situation will come into my life where I talk to her again. If it was meant to be,
it'll happen. If
it was meant to be.
You won't force it.
If that doesn't happen, then it wasn't meant to be.
I see.
So I'm leaving it at that as of right now, and I'm okay with that. So
I like the way you think, man.
thank you, man. Yeah, it took a lot, man. That all started the second she denied me.
Bro, but like her reaching out to you and then the response that you had, that's not easy to do. That's
Yeah, it was
like
it took tough.
that's
I
not-
had to talk to him.
like most people would not like that was like elegantly done.
Mm-hmm.
But like you were saying about how fuck, you're talking about how maybe how you were able to progress and develop more as a person because you went through that. I think obviously like one of the major components of life is being able to fulfill yourself and to make yourself happy. At least not like happy, but like happy enough to an extent
Satisfied.
where yeah, satisfied. Exactly. That's the perfect word for it. You need to be able to like within yourself, you need to be able to stay, somewhat satisfied with what you
Chat.
got so you can like deal with the shit that what's going to happen in your life. It's like, especially when you're young, you have these ideas that like you think if you had something it would make you happy, but like before you have those things you need to be able to make yourself happy first. So like something comes into your life, it makes you happy, but you can't become attached to something like that because what's going to happen if it's gone? You know, I personally think that there's like levels to this shit where when you reach a new spot in your life, then the things that you previously wanted start coming to you because now you're ready for those things to be in your life so you don't become like dependent on it. And like the situation with my mom, like before my mom died, I always told myself that if my mom dies, I'm gonna kill myself. That's what I told her. I was like, my mom dies, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I'm going with her. But I didn't start doing anything with my life up until she died. My mom died, and then I started actually doing shit for myself. And then, the more that you do for yourself and the more that you learn like how to be happy with just using what you got, using, your wisdom and the things that you learn, then those things that you were like once convinced, like maybe whether you're aware of it or not, like, these things that you would attach to have happiness, they will come to you when you're able to fulfill yourself enough. So then it won't be like toxic to you. So it's like it depends on what's going on internally with you for you to get the things that you think would be good for you. So I think like the way that you think, I think is necessary for essentially like any living person, because if you're hung up on something that you think is going to make you happy and then you get it, chances are it's not going to be good for you because everything's temporary, dude. That's how it is. Like everything is it's like everything is temporary up until you have what it takes to like let it stay. If that makes sense. It's kind of like
You have to have a cup to hold the water instead of a sieve. It's just gonna go right through if you don't have
Exactly.
the faculties to hold it.
Exactly. And like when I got with Kaylee, that happened like I was talking about earlier. Like a relationship came into my life when I stopped giving a fuck about being in a relationship. And I think that happened simply because I was ready for it. If I had gotten into a relationship when what was going through my mind was like, oh, I want a relationship, I want a girl so bad, that would make my life so much better. Once I stopped caring, and then I finally got the arsenal in order to like make myself happy, then it came. So then that's not something I'd have to depend on. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Absolutely. I'm proud of you, son.
Yeah. I'm proud of me too, low key.
You should be.
Isaiah has been like,
Dude, he has the craziest arc.
he's been, I don't want to say avoiding, but like worrying about this conversation for a long time.
Oh, I have.
So there's been it's
About
been
me?
it's been like 2 years where me and him have kind of had this silent agreement to never bring up Jasmine because of this conversation.
Oh, with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it would be like really awkward.
Yeah, just to like talk about it. with you
Dude,
knowing
I would have loved that like a year ago.
I just yeah.
That would have been amazing a year ago.
You asshole.
I would have moved on so
I
fast.
just had
Would
to
you?
witness the shit. This is-
I would have moved on. So
I don't think that's how
fast.
that
See,
works,
I think
though.
I think thinking retroactively, I think it's really easy to say, "Oh, I would have moved on so fast."
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
The way that I function, I think that I would have, like, that would have been the best thing for me
Yeah.
because I would have been able to commiserate
I mean,
and realize that I shouldn't
Like,
be
it
the
give
person
you- it
that's
give
there.
you
I'm not
a
as
reason
dedicated.
to
in the
give
end,
up, but I don't think you like you'd still want it.
Well, I
in-
mean, a year ago it was already over. 2 years ago it was already over.
in
Like,
the
what?
end, all we can do is speculate.
You know what
Touche.
I think? I think when you think something is going to be hard to deal with, it's going to be easier. And then when you think something is going to be easy to deal with, it's going to be harder. It's like it's always like what you how you imagine something will turn out. It's usually the opposite. That's something I've learned in my life.
Sometimes,
Yeah, maybe sometimes, but I think like generally,
generally, yeah, I'd agree. Generally,
I think generally like
there are some exceptions.
you know like when you're telling yourself, oh, you know, I got this. I'll be able to move on from this.
Hindsight bias.
It's gonna be fucking. It's gonna be hard to
Yeah,
move on. From.
actually, that actually might be exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Hindsight bias.
Wow,
Papa Fly.
that feels like a big weight lifted off of this friend group.
That is true. Honestly,
I feel like that's
I
been a
had been
conversation that's
thinking
been
about it.
waiting.
I feel the same.
Wait. Can we?
Did you know about this?
No.
Yeah, can we
Oh,
talk
wow.
about this because I'm curious? Like,
Uh.
why aren't you around nearly as much as Zach and Caleb?
I guess prior. I don't want to say
We're not a priority.
maybe a little bit. Maybe okay.
You can
I
say
don't wanna
that, it's
all
fine.
that, but
No,
it's
that's
just all
fine.
like. I guess to be real, this is like real. I'm not much of like a outdoorsy person, and that's like
Right.
more of their thing. I tag along sometimes, but a lot of the times when it's stuff like this, it's not really like my thing.
understand.
I've kind of created like a crowd of people outside of this, which is more of like my style of people. They enjoy doing the same things as me. They have the same humor. You guys do too. But I guess I've been spending more time with them
Right.
recently. But I still love this group and I still love coming back to it. I'm not gonna like be gone for a while. Like I don't like being gone a lot.
Is it just that we have to just find common interests?
Not entirely, but I guess sometimes I pick and choose based off of what you guys are doing.
Right. But like that's,
On
that's
God.
That
fair.
makes sense.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
So it'd be better if we found more common interests. But like it's okay if we do stuff that just us three like.
Right.
But it would also be good if we found more common interests.
My only like the only thing that makes me sad about you not being here is the podcast.
Right.
And that like genuinely the podcast is
Well,
like
and he's Isaiah, and we never hear from him, so it's kind of sad.
hey, let's not make generalizations. Okay, let's be nice. I like this podcast is kind like somewhat of like a passion project for me. I really like I listen to podcasts every day. I love podcasts. And I feel like this podcast has so much potential and it feels like my work child. And that's
Right.
why I push so heavily for you to be on the podcast is because I want this to be like a us four, like this is our thing, you know?
Right.
Like me and Caleb have the games we play. Me and Lucas have
We do a lot of random shit.
I guess doing drugs and studying. And then us three have like the furnace or like we go and like other stuff. Me and Caleb have photography.
Right.
You and me have
Food.
like we have a bunch of shit, honestly.
we do
Like I mean,
keyboards.
I've known you for the longest, so
Yeah.
yeah, keyboards. That's about to be in the next passion project. But like we don't have anything as like a group, and I feel like this is the only thing that's like has potential to be like a group thing.
right.
And I would love like I love meeting new people. Lucas has a lot of people I haven't met. Caleb also likes to get into deep conversations. That's kind of what started Tent Talks and why I want to have this podcast so we can like get new people on like Lamor, have guests and stuff. That's the only thing that like I'm sad about. Like I get it if you don't want to like work on that or like go to the mountains and do jack fuck. Like that's fine. I just want you to be here for the podcast because I feel like this is our child.
I'd love to come here to come to the podcast.
Yeah.
For. It's honestly.
Should we just make it indoors?
It is enjoyable. No, I
mean,
like the.
Is there any
I don't mind the
friction
environment.
that stops you from coming here? I mean, I get like
Distance.
Besides, yeah, it's
Right,
like
that is
right.
okay. That is very true.
Oh, where are you at?
Beaumont,
Beaumont, like he lives like 30 minutes away
Yeah.
from here,
Yeah.
or
It's kinda
45.
That's pretty.
The
good.
only thing,
pretty good.
I agree.
Pretty good.
one time you told me I don't really feel like talking, or like I don't feel like talking about the things I want to talk about on the podcast, and I totally get that. Like
Right,
that's totally fair. I would just rather like know that rather than just get like ghosted.
right.
But like if you say that, that's fine. Like I'm totally chill with that.
Okay.
I just like the podcast every now and again is like something that like makes me like really happy. Like I love doing these. I even like even editing them. I like watching them back and listening to them.
Real.
I have really bad texting problems.
Yeah.
Bad. I can't get
Yes.
back to people.
Bro, same.
I can't.
Same.
It's something I'm working on. I try working on, but I just can't. And by the time,
All three of you.
by the time,
You're pretty good at it.
like
All three ADHD.
I don't think it's ADHD with him. He just like he means to respond. Like I even now, like when you don't respond to me, I tell myself like I know you mean to respond, but you probably just forgot.
yeah, it's like once like I think like 12 hours come through and I don't respond. In my mind, it's all like, or maybe like a day. It's like for some reason I don't know why I tell myself like, is there even a point? For some
Isaiah.
reason, I don't know why.
I do the same thing
I've met
sometimes,
so many people.
and I would just,
I
know,
was gonna ask if you had a charger. Sorry.
I feel the same way. And sometimes I do that, and then I'm like, oh, it's too late.
Yeah, I tell myself it's too late. Like I've put it off for too much. If I text right now, it's just gonna.
What you need to
Make
do
things
is
worse.
whenever you do that to me, you need to actually respond like a week later. Like you need to actually respond so that I can relate and I feel better. Because I do that to other people
do that
too.
Dude, like,
Honestly, you've never done it with me.
I do it for like a couple days sometimes.
I mean, honestly, the most you've ever done is either not respond or like you respond like maybe 3 hours later, which I don't really mind.
Yeah.
As long as it's like within the day, I don't really care.
That's how it is with me. Like the only person that I actually like remember to get back to and shit is Camden. Everyone else, like if I don't answer a call or if I'm not able to respond to a text,
Not even Kaylee.
that shit will turn into days. So, and my girlfriend, yes.
Good man.
But yeah, like that shit will turn into days, like sometimes weeks. That shit's hard to do. It's hard to keep up. I don't know why. And then like the longer you go without responding, you're like, fuck, I should respond. They're gonna be mad at me.
Yeah, that's my mindset. And it's like, I hate it, but like, I just, I don't know. I think I'm just like, maybe it is ADHD for me too. I'm just not focused. Like I'm focused on other things. And then by the time I start looking at the messages again, like I just start like.
To be fair,
bashing myself.
you do have a lot going on in your life, especially
yeah.
now. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about what's been going on in your life academically, but from what I've heard, you do have a lot going on. So I give you grace, at least now, with like your response times, because I'm like, oh, I mean, I've heard you're hustling. So I mean, like you have your internship now.
No, yeah.
So I mean, that's why I'm like, I don't really get hurt anymore. Because I'm honestly like, bro's hustling. I respect it.
But
honestly,
you always read it, right? You always read the messages.
I read every message.
I've never
That's
said
good
this.
to know.
I said this to my mom. I'm so proud of you for getting that internship.
Are you?
That's actually huge.
Is it?
I think it's huge. And honestly, that's like really impressive.
Just, physical therapy.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's huge.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, for jobs in general, getting those internships,
Yeah,
that's huge.
especially in the career that you want to be. That's massive.
Yeah, no, PT is pretty big.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do for his major. So I was like, he was telling me about it before he got it, and I was actually hyping
As a
you.
freshman,
He told me about it last year, yeah. And he was telling me, and I was like, dude, that's huge. I was so happy in that moment.
I have been struggling with committing to it because I'm still unsure if I want to commit to PT yet.
But I mean, even having it as like job confirmation or whatever is
Right.
good.
Like I get to look and I get to help them and I get to get more insight, but it's like I don't know. I guess I need to. I guess what I really want is just confidence, because like no one knows what they want to do, like for sure most of the time.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of something I'm searching for. because I think that's a problem with my just academics in general is I'm unsure if what I'm doing is the right thing. So I'm kind of half-assing everything.
Mm.
And I'm so mad at myself for it, but that's kind of like what it roots to is me being unsure of things. But I am happy to be in the situation I am in. I get way more insight on what my field is actually like. But I do got to branch out more still. PT is big, man. There's so many different things you can do with it.
Oh yeah.
So I really, I'm gonna get so many hours in just like different fields of it. But I'm still figuring things out.
Yeah, just
Isaiah.
try not to trip about it because, like you said, like you're learning more about it, learning more about the field. You'll find out if that's what you want to do or not.
I guess my biggest fear is like putting so much time into one thing, finding out I hate it, and it being too late for me to be able to commit to something else that I actually enjoy and love. That's my biggest fear in terms of a career, which is kind of why I keep on like half-assing it because I'm not completely sure and I'm looking at other things.
Honestly, oh fuck, you have about a year, or maybe like a year and a half before you have to start taking like the core classes for
Yeah.
the program you need. And it's good that you're doing PT and especially this internship and thinking about it, because I mean, yeah, some people like have this like people have dreams of what they want to be. I have a dream of being a doctor, and I've done steps to like confirm or deny those dreams. And I think there's not really like, it's not really too late. I mean, worst case, like you're at Crafton, worst case, you wasted a year of
Right.
academics and then maybe $120 on classes.
Right.
Like the stakes aren't that high. So
Right.
honestly, take your time and like really figure out what it is you need to do. And if you need to take a gap year, like fuck it, dude, take it. Even if your parents are like giving you shit
Honestly,
for it.
Being in a Asian family is also a thing that makes
Yeah.
me struggle. It's like I don't want to have to like pursue something else and have to tell family members at greetings and get faced with like shameful looks and stuff like that, like I'm giving my family name like a wrong for doing this
I
or
mean-
that. And that's kind of like a problem I've struggled with for like a long time.
I get that.
It's just shame.
If I had to say anything towards that, I mean, like, I know you're not asking for advice, but like, if I had to say
I'll
anything
take anything.
towards that, those look like in the end, those looks are all temporary, but your career is more or less permanent.
Right.
So like, I would rather sacrifice temporary pain for permanent satisfaction. And I feel like in terms of your career, that's an important thing. Like, honestly, I get it. A lot of like, okay, best I can explain. My cousin was on his way to med school. He was in pre-med at Walla Walla University. Midway through, I think he was in his third year of pre-med. So he was almost done. Maybe it was his second year. I don't know. But he switched to aviation. Now he is in aviation. He has such a bigger passion for aviation. He only really did medicine because my grandpa and his dad is a doctor. He's the guy I always go on mission trips with. And my uncle is very much like I want someone else in the family to be a doctor so I can like very stereotypical Asian, like it gives the family a good name, that kind of thing. And my cousin switched out. My grandpa was upset about it for about maybe a year or two. And nowadays he doesn't even talk about it. I don't hear him say anything about it. I heard like the family was talking about it for like maybe half a year when it happened. My grandparents probably dragged it on for another year and a half. But like 2 years later, 3 years later, they're not talking about it. Like no one talks about it. They talk about how he's on his way to become like a Delta airline pilot and how he's like about to get like how good his career is and how all these things, how he's doing what he loves. So like if you follow what you're passionate for, in the end people will get it. I think it comes out of a place of love of wanting you to have a stable and like good career. And once they see that you're happy and you're having a stable good career, they'll be happy for you. And honestly, I mean like if they're not, we all have those family members we just accept that we don't like being around because they judge us too much. I have those family members, and it's okay to like I still love them, but you can accept like I don't like being around this family member. They don't really make me feel good about my career or my life and all that. So
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
You find something that makes you happy, dude. Just trust your gut, man. You're your own self.
they'll get it eventually. Eventually, they'll either get tired of talking about it or they'll understand.
It doesn't matter how much a nigga hates on you, bro. You find something you want to do, you pursue it, you make something happen. They're gonna be like, shit, he's doing something right.
Exactly. Prove them wrong.
Yeah, that should be your motivation.
Exactly.
Like that should be a part of your motivation. Just like, like sure they want this for me. Just try to remind yourself that it's not coming from a bad place. That's just some Asian ass shit. Just be
Yeah.
like some Asian ass shit. But just be like, I'm gonna find out what makes me happy. I'm gonna do it. This is what I want to do. And then they'll fucking see.
They'll find other things to worry about later on down the line.
And also it's just like it's never too late, bro. It's never too late. Because if you tell yourself that it's too late, if you end up doing something, there are too many people, especially in this country, where they start doing something and they find out they don't like it, but they stick it through anyway.
Yeah.
And then that just creates nothing but misery, dude. So it's like, that's one thing that I try to tell myself too, because it's like, I'm still 19. I'm going to be 20 in October. But, I'm not doing anything right now. Like I know what I want to do, but I'm not doing anything. So, like I get worried, like, fuck, I'm behind. What if I end up doing this and then I find out it's not something I want to do? Fuck, what am I going to do if that happens? But, it's either you kind of got to let go of like when things are going to happen, because, if you think that way, you're making yourself vulnerable to a lot of fucking regret.
Yeah. I agree. And like, along with what he said, like, my mom has been in her career for maybe 20 years now. If she would have like, once she was a nurse for a year, been like, I absolutely hate this, and went back to school, 4 extra years, different bachelors, she still would have been in her career for 15 years. That's a long time. That's still an established career. And she still has another 10, 15 years left in her career. So like a 30-year long career is a decent amount. It's never too late. I mean, I won't be in my career until I'm 29, 31. So like it's never too late. Like if you get into your dream career when you're in your 30s, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. I have a cousin. He's 33 or 34, and he's just he was passionate about a lot of shit. He was really passionate about drawing, really passionate about that shit, and I'm sure he was passionate about other things too. But the pressure of trying to make something happen with your life that isn't like established as a career kind of led him down the path of ending up just spending his life doing shit that he doesn't want to do. And like if he could have it any other way, he would be like, fine, I don't care if it happens when I'm 40 years old. If I get to do something I want to do that makes me happy, I'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
You got to try to think of it from someone's perspective that has like literally gone through what you're afraid of. Because if it was up to them, they would flip the switch at 50 years old. You know what I mean? And plus, like when you get stuck in that trap where you're like, fuck, it's too late, then it is too late. Like what makes it too late is up to you, basically. It's not your age. It's not what year it is. It's not how much time you have left longer. It is simply about just like, are you going to do it or not? No matter how old you are, no matter, what timeline you're in, it doesn't matter. Just focus on like, okay, I have my internship. PT might be what I want to do. I'll figure that out. If it turns out that's not what I want to do, then I'll find something else. It kind of roots back to that faith thing that you were talking about. Like for me personally, I have faith that everything will turn out just fine, because it's like finding out what you want to do is solely based off of experience. Like there are some people where, they find what they want to do by like trying to find what they want to do. But typically you find out what you want to do just by living. And that's what happened to me. Like I want to be a nurse. I ended up wanting to be a nurse because, like I was taking care of my grandpa who was really sick. And, there's something cool about hospitals. You know what I mean? Like if you haven't found that thing yet, you'll definitely find it. it's all just about like you don't need to want something specific. You just need to have the want to just fucking live, dude. That's really it. Like you just need to have that willingness to just like go through whatever it takes in order to achieve what you want to achieve in your life. That's what I think. So just do whatever you can to find that drive, dude.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you can to find that drive to just be like, you know what, fuck it. Whatever happens, happens. But that doesn't mean like I can't make my own shit happen.
I think you're on the right path. I think you're
You
going about it
definitely
the
are.
right way.
100%. 100%. If you already have an internship and you know PT, you know you might want to do that. If you're uncertain, that's fine, dude. I mean, you also got to remind yourself that you're young. Like you said, nobody really knows what they want to do when they're young. You know, it's a very rare thing. You know, just like the fact that you have an internship in the first place means that, you know, if you find out you want to do something else, then you know, why wouldn't another opportunity open up for you? Why wouldn't you be able to, you know, get something started in another area if you want to do something else, you know?
Yeah. And another piece of advice that my uncle gave me that was like huge because he's nearing 60. I think he's in his like early 50s. He was always like, your job should not be the only thing in your life. Like you should have passions outside of your job, and you don't have to love your job 100%. Like don't get me wrong, he's doing what he wants to do, and like there's diminishing returns on like how much you wait to enter your career versus how much you can get done outside of your career. You know, like there's gonna be friction in any career you have unless you find like your dream career, and those people are really, really, really rare who love their job and it's their passion and they don't end up hating their passion. But you don't want to turn your passion into a job because then it turns into a job. Like no matter what job you get, it's gonna feel like a job some days, and it's better to have a stable job that gives you the means to enable your hobbies and like what you want to do. Yeah, like if you find a hobby that you just like love with all your heart, like I love photography and like making videos. Being a doctor, very lucrative. Video and photo, very expensive. It's a good fit. And if you enable your hobbies, in the end of your life, your hobbies are what's going to give you satisfaction, not your career. Like on your deathbed, you're going to remember your hobbies, your family, your all these things. Like don't be a doctor because you feel like you have to. Or don't be like this profession because you feel like you have to. Because any profession is going to come up with trade-offs and sacrifices you have to make. Being a doctor, sacrificing your 20s, sacrificing a lot of time with your family, having a family very late in life. And if it's something you're really passionate about doing, you're not going to think twice about those sacrifices. I've thought about them, don't get me wrong. I've taken them into consideration. Not to like talk about myself, but just to like give my personal views on the whole thing. I've taken into consideration. I've thought about them a lot. And in the end of the day, my want for this career is so much more than what I'm giving up. And that's a clue that you have the right career. If what you're giving up does not outweigh the environment you're going into, the field you're going into, the subject that you're passionate about, then it's not a good fit. And I think that's a good way of gauging if the internship that you're in is really what you want. Like if you see the daily life of a PT and you're like, can I imagine this in my life? Does this enable me to have the other things in my life that I want, whether that be a family, hobbies, a business, side business, any of that? If it enables that and you are accepting of the consequences that come with that job, then I say it's a good fit. I think it's a good fit. It's a safe career for you. And I think people don't have necessarily one career that fits them. They have a selection. And as long as you pick one that's a selection that you're okay with the consequences of and enables you to have free time to do the things you want, I think that's a good career.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because for me, like I want to make music. I like to take photos and edit them. I like to take videos and edit them. Then, you know, like I want to be a nurse, working like fucking 3 days a week, making more than enough money to,
Yeah.
get all the shit that you need. But like, if for some reason, I'm not able to become a nurse, just like hypothetically, for some reason I'm not able to become a nurse, I'll just be like, okay, what's something I can hold down that's not too bad that would allow me to indulge in the shit that I'm passionate about? So like, if you want to find the right profession, then it just depends about what you really want. Like Zach was saying, like, if your career is going to be the thing that fulfills you and that's your passion, then just focus on that and just figure that out.
Yeah.
But if you have a lot of other things that you want to do that you're really passionate about, then try not to get too obsessive over your career field and just be like, okay, like, what's something I can do that, the work is like, I could enjoy it. It might be a little hard, but whatever, like I'll still be able to do all the other shit that I want to do. So
Yeah.
just don't get obsessive over anything. It's so hard. It's like nearly impossible, but I obsess over everything in my life, like everything that's going on, everything that I want to happen, and like becoming obsessive just, I don't know, it fucks with you really bad, dude. Like if you don't want to end up like getting stuck in that loop, because like the more obsessive you get over something, the more that shit's going to weigh you down, It's you just need to do your best, but also just like let shit happen at the same time.
Damn, nice little career talk. I love
Exactly. Just go.
I
with
love
the
those
flow.
talks.
Just go with the flow. Like for real. That's what shit's about. Just go with the flow. Like, you're whatever happens in your life, you're going to perceive it some sort of way. You're going to alchemize that into something, and then you're going to go from there, and it's going to keep repeating. It's just wash, rinse, and repeat.
Yeah.
But another thing too is like, I don't know. I just like to be praying about my shit. I just like to pray about my shit because I don't know. Like the way I like to think about it is like, even if someone like is like completely like atheistic or whatever, like what's the hurt in like fucking around and finding out if you're wrong? You know what I mean? So,
True.
like if you're able to be like, oh shit, like maybe if my intentions are good and I actually want to do something with my life, maybe there is a force that's helping me. Just try to give it a shot. I feel like the most you can do when you're really stressed out or uncertain about something is to reach out for help, whether that's a person, God, it doesn't really matter. But if there truly is a creator, and he's as loving as everyone says he is and whatnot, just pray about your shit and then see what happens. But also just like be aware that like, no matter what happens, I'll be able to make it work out for myself. But maybe there's something to lean on. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of what changed my life. Like, sure, I could imagine myself like living my life without having these like spiritual experiences or whatever, and still making my shit work. But now I have something to lean on to be like, okay, like even if things don't go how I imagine it or whatever, it will work out in a way that's good for me. And I think that applies to everybody, whether you believe in God or not. Like, I wish I was capable of like explaining like how I think like shit works in full detail, because I don't fully understand it either. But what I'm starting to realize is just like if you want to do good for yourself, and you have, if you really want to live a fulfilling life, you'll fucking get it. But you're just gonna have to go through some shit. That's just how I see it. Just try to tell yourself that, because everybody knows like actions have consequences, and I think that also applies to the thoughts that you have in your brain. I really think it does. I think that just like kicking the wall and your toe hurting, I legitimately think that the shit that goes through your brain also produces a consequence. Like in your physical reality. I really think it does. I mean, I don't know. That's just how I see it. It's hard because like I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I'm able to be certain of so much shit, but I don't know how to make someone else certain of it, which is a gift that I want to be able to have. You know what I mean? Like the way that I feel so certain about how everything's going to work out fine. I wish I could like get that through to somebody in a way where they're like, "Oh, fuck, they're right." And then they feel it. You know what I mean? But the most I can do is just like tell somebody like, "Hey, just just have passion for what you want to do and kind of just let yourself exist at the same time. Don't be too hard on yourself and shit will work out for you."
Lucas and Caleb, you guys have anything to add?
Well, I mean, for the thinking have your thoughts have physical consequences. We think, therefore we are. We're thinking creatures, and that allows us to be people. So definitely, because it affects our actions.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what we think influences who we are and what we do. It's just a big chain reaction and la-di-da.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, hey, if you think about it logically, like if you're thinking good things are probably going to happen to you. If you're thinking bad things are probably going to happen to you. You know what I mean? That's how I see it.
Shout out to Rene Descartes.
Rene Descartes.
Rene Descartes.
Really?
I think, therefore I am, the philosopher.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Cogito
Dude.
ergo sum.
that's a real
there's a So this is gonna be wildly off topic. Are you done with the topic of hand? I don't want
No.
to cut you guys early or anything.
Isaiah, you be praying?
Do I be praying?
Do you be praying?
I did for a while.
Not anymore?
I haven't. And I think I really turned to it. That's when I started going to crosswalk a lot more
Yeah.
and praying like every day, taking notes.
I'm proud of this motherfucker.
That's when I was in a darker time.
We're all proud of you.
My problem, honestly, that I'm going through right now, I'm not going through anything bad. Like, I'm still in a good headspace, but I did. I got really, really centered and, like, in a good part of my life that I got comfortable. I stopped journaling. I stopped going to church. I stopped praying. I just went back to my usual lifestyle, which is going through life and, like, not. And, like, I didn't have anything to keep me centered with things that are going through my life at the time. So when things went wrong, it took me back down to where I was before. And I'm trying to do that less. I'm trying to keep a steady routine to keep my headspace up. But I do need to pray more. That's something that I haven't done. I've still tried to keep up with church. I still have stuff to try to keep me centered, but praying is probably that thing I'm missing, is because I have had more doubts in terms of like my future, but I do like to have that faith that things will be okay, and praying does give me that more or less.
That's exactly what happens when you're going through a hard time and then things start getting good. It becomes it very quickly becomes normal because it's just like, oh shit, like things are going good right now. I don't have anything to worry about. But like, because when you're going through something bad, you focus on the bad. When you're going through something good, you focus on the good. That's why it's so good to find balance, because when shit starts going well for you, and then you start like, that's kind of just like where you're at. Then the moment something bad happens, or when you start getting a taste of what you've tasted before that was hurtful, that weighed you down or something, then it'll just fucking take you right back there real quick. And that shit happened to me too. Like when I like after I had the trip, and then I was talking about how I felt everything felt good, and shit just felt like I was like, okay, like everything's going to be okay. I basically have nothing to worry about. Then I started worrying about shit again, and now I'm just like, I kind of feel like I'm back to square one.
Right. But
So I'm just trying to do whatever I can to get myself back there.
yeah, to your answer, not right now. I keep telling myself that I'm gonna do stuff like that, but then like stuff happens and I push it back, which is something I need to do. Like I gotta do it now, but I don't know. School and like personal relations with other people keeps on stopping me.
Yeah, it gets tough sometimes.
Yeah,
Life's fucking persistent.
yeah. But yeah, is there something you wanted to say, Zach? I think you
What
were
were
gonna
saying
cut us
earlier,
off.
Zach?
Yeah, what was it?
I don't remember. I went to go piss, and now I have
Like,
forgotten.
please, now I need to know. I need to know your
Wait,
like. Sorry to
wait.
cut
Let me
you guys
think. Let me
off.
think. Oh, I was just gonna ask Lucas and Caleb if they had. Wait, no. Hold on, it's coming to me. I forgot. Fuck. It was something with Lucas and Caleb.
Okay, what about me and Caleb?
When we kissed.
No, I feel like it. Wait, we were talking
our
about.
We were
philosophy.
talking about your like.
We were
just
talking about
ended off
your
the career
career.
stuff.
Oh, I was gonna say
Forget.
this fucking guy. I was gonna say I know Caleb. Well, I don't know, but I had suspicions that Caleb kind of had the same thing of like questioning his career and like what he's in college for. But like, I don't know. Are you at a point where you just like you don't care what your career is, or like have you actually like do you have a passion for nursing, or is it just kind of like a means to an end? Like, do your passions lie outside of your profession?
I don't have any passions. So
Okay, well,
that's kind of problematic.
I mean,
see,
but-
okay, this is
Music.
this
That's
is the
just
other
a
thing.
lie.
We've had this conversation before. Like you and me have had this conversation of your passions, and you do have passions: photography, music. Like those are genuine. Do you remember that time outside that Starbucks? I don't know if were you there. No, because that was the time I took.
Oh.
It was you, Lucas, and me.
Yeah, when you guys
In the
were
car.
on, right?
Yeah,
Eating
Yeah.
nuts.
and eating nuts. And we concluded that you have passions. You just need to like let yourself be passionate, you know?
I'm afraid that's an impossibility.
I don't think it is though. Like just recently I have come to the conclusion that like while yes, no one might listen to this podcast, no one will watch the movies or the videos that I make. They're an art form for me. Like this podcast is a form of art for me and like for my self-satisfaction. And music and photography needs to be that for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be this grandiose like very popular piece of media for it to be okay to be your passion. Not everyone's passion becomes popular. Right? Like sorry, I'm like winded from climbing up those stairs. Like
Christ, dude.
you should like yeah, your passions don't have to be mainstream and they don't have to be necessarily quote unquote productive. That's why it's a passion. Your job, yes, that's something that has to be productive. You have to give value to your job, your profession, all that crap. But you don't necessarily need to sorry, I got distracted. You don't necessarily need to have those be popular for it to be okay to be your passion, you know?
you
Like-
should try to find a way to
like-
express.
Make music for
Those
yourself.
things.
Like no one has to listen to your music on Spotify in the same way that no one has to watch our podcast. It's a thing for you. You make the music for you. You don't even have to release it. Like it can sit on your computer, on your hard drive forever. And you can go listen to it on your own time, and that's a passion. It's something that you look forward to doing. Now, if music and photography is something that is like very frictionful and like hard to do and it takes energy, that's not a good passion. I agree. Like that's not your passion. But if it's something you do to relax and something you look forward to at the end of the week, that's a passion.
That's funny.
Before we get any further, I think we're at the point of the
You're on the
podcast where
spectrum.
we have transitioned more to socializing rather than the podcast.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's
just to
true.
save on hard drive space, I'm going to call it here. The last podcast didn't have a proper outro and I didn't like that. So I'm just going to do a proper outro right now.
Cue the music.
If, if you guys have enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe. I hopefully will be posting a lot more of these.
Oh, should we get, like,
Um, I'm gonna cut that out. His audio no longer exists. Yeah, like and subscribe. Hopefully, there's more of these in the future, and yeah, we will let you know if there's anything more from 10 Talks in the future. I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening, night, or whatever is going on for you right now.
Good evening and good night.
Good morning, good evening, and good night. I love all of you. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you in the next episode.
Y'all, my
Later.